Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Thursday, February 5th. It's the last day of the Rise Up broadcast week, and we have got a great show lined up for you today. Don't forget, because it's Thursday, it's our after show day. At the end of a week of morning shows, we like to end our show a little bit early to head over to Circle, talking about community.rumshq.com. It's a place where you can face-to-face, voice-to-voice, person-to-person ask us your crypto questions, just like on the Rise Up Morning Show, but not limited by the live chat. We love the live chat, but sometimes it can be frustrating to try and have an argument with Alex when you're limited to just 140 characters, right, Alex? Not ideal. So come on over there and bug him in the Circle. He will answer you at length, and it will be wonderful. We've also got Market Watch tonight. New time just this week. Will is going to be back. Doug is going to be back. And on the way there, I'm sure we will answer lots of fun crypto questions, which reminds me to remind you, if you got them, leave them in the comments. Will, Alex, how are you today, my friends?
I'm good. I slept great last night. I also watched the movie Eddington, which was odd, but good. But maybe I liked it last night. And, I got liquidated for the first time yesterday.
Huzzah.
In my 5K challenge. Yay! Liquidation. Not ideal, but I had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot about like the more degen side of leverage trading. Because for those of you who don't know, I've never been a leverage trader. I've never really done a whole lot of degen stuff. I tried day trading for 1 week like years ago, and I was horrible at it. And this time I took a 5K challenge, and I was like, hey, let's see if this gets liquidated before the end of February or how high I can grow it. And I had a few rules. I wanted to be as degen as possible. I wanted to go all in with the position all the time. And I wanted to use 10x leverage or more. Yeah! I wanted to see how it went. So it was 5K, and it got up to just over $18,000 in about 5 or 6 days of trading. And then the whole market went short, and I looked at Hyperliquid, and I was like, this thing's going down too. And I entered my short, and as everything went red, Hyperliquid went green. And I got liquidated. And today it's down 9.4%, and that would have been like $36,000. That would have been like 36K right now. And I was like, oh man, brutal. So, but it was really fun to experience. And I'm excited for the next challenge I do. I'm going to make a video just like talking about like, hey, this is what I learned. This is what I felt like. I got to say, like, I really didn't like how I felt like in the challenge itself in the data. Even when I was winning, it was just like it's a way more frenetic and like frantic kind of a feeling. Being like a high leverage day trader, really didn't like it. And now I'm gonna do a different challenge where I'm gonna use Drift Protocol for one strategy and DeFi Carrot for another strategy. And they're gonna be more conservative approaches. So I can long and short on Drift. I can use 10x leverage, but no more. And I can only do it on Bitcoin and gold, so less volatile assets. On DeFi Carrot, I can do whatever asset I want, but I can, you're limited on DeFi Carrot in terms of how much leverage you can use, because it's like typically like a 1 to 3x kind of a range. And I will employ my traditional like spot swing trading strategies and see how that goes. And I have a few other rules I've stipulated as well, and I'll use a little bit less money just for practice. And we'll see how it goes. My goal is to try to find a leverage strategy that like makes money, but also that I like feel good with and less like frantic about. And try to find a leverage strategy that I would feel comfortable saying like, hey, if a new trader, if a member of our community came up to us and was like, hey, I'd like to get into leverage, how do I do that? I'd be like, hey, here is like a really good entry strategy, and it's tested and beaten down by me into a fine strategy, beating the edges out into a fine sword, if you will. and be able to kind of hand that off to somebody with a feeling of confidence that they can do well. So, that's what I'm working on next, and it'll be fun.
That's a really great challenge, Will. What are some of the things, aside from how you feel, that you've learned about, is there something you could have done, for example, to have entered this trade at a different time or to have prevented liquidation? Or something else?
To have prevented liquidation, putting in a stop loss would have been good, of course. But the other thing that I did also that was a mistake on Hyperliquid is I saw Bitcoin rolling over, I saw Solana rolling over, I saw everything starting to roll over, and I looked at Hyperliquid, and instead of waiting for a confirmation candle that Hyperliquid is going to roll over, it was right underneath resistance. And so I was like, well, everything's rolling over, so this will hold as resistance, and I'll just ride that. And instead of getting a confirmation of a rejection and then placing a bet, it actually got above it, held it as support, and then took off 5 cents higher than where my liquidation point was, which was just like annoying. I was like, you son of a bitch, you son of a bitch. And so the big lesson there was, if you have an asset in like a bear run that's like holding green, be very careful with it because it might get one more final leg upwards that ends up being a fake out. And of course, wait for confirmation first before diving into a trade, even if you feel like you have a whole bunch of other kind of requirements that you have written down that says, I won't take a trade unless this happens. Even if you have almost all of those, wait for it and then place your trade. So, those are the lessons I learned on that one Hyperliquid trade.
And right after it, we were talking about this backstage, you had a turnaround moment. Tell people about tell people about your turnaround moment.
Yeah. So first of all, never do what I'm about to tell you. So
do it as Will does it. Don't just do it by rule. Tell them the story, because this is a really good exception proves the rule story.
Yeah. So in a Phantom wallet that I had like $150 or like $140 or something that I just kind of had forgotten about. It was like a part of a transaction that like I just didn't bring over for whatever, just to have like for gas fees and things. And I was like, hey, this is already in this wallet. Let me just like, in the same sense as you're leaving the casino and you just have a handful of chips and you're like, I don't really care. Like I was planning on losing this money anyway. And you just, as you walk out, throw it all on black on roulette and just see what happens. You either make a little bit of money or it's all gone and you walk out of the casino. I went over and opened a 50x leverage short on Bitcoin.
Yeah, baby.
Which is ridiculous. I was tempted to do the 101x leverage that is an option, but I was like, maybe that's too far. And so yeah, it's up right now. So we'll see what happens to it. But like, I'm totally fine with it going away. But like, that's the reason why I say never do that. Is it's never use that much leverage on anything. Also, that's like kind of a classic revenge trading scenario if you actually did it with like a sizable amount of money, and you should never do that. But I just found some money that was basically lost to me for forever. It was basically just throwing a few chips on black as I walk out of the casino, and I have a little bit of money or I have nothing. So there, it's a little fun. It might even close while we're streaming. I'll let everybody know.
Dude, how wild would it be if that's how you ended like the $5,000 challenge? Well, all I can think about is The Princess Bride, where he is in the pit of despair and he turns the torture device up and he says, "Not to 50."
Yeah. Wouldn't it be hilarious? I did put out a tweet where I was like, hey, I have this like $150 or whatever. Wouldn't it be hilarious if I got my 5K back?
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
Before I start my new challenge, I will see if I can get that $160 back up to 5K. And, that would just be silly and fun. So we'll see. I'll update everyone on when I start the new challenge.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Are you posting about it mostly on Twitter, on X? I don't get to consume a lot of your videos except when I'm uploading a video and I'm like, oh, we'll have a post. Looks good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been posting most of it on Twitter and X, and then I'll take some of those tweets and share them on like, the TikTok story and the Instagram story as well, but not all of them. It's just, I just find it easier to like, because, you complete a trade and you just take a screenshot and you upload it on Twitter just for, posterity, if you will. And I'll make a video later today talking about like the lessons I learned and what I'm doing moving forward, just so everyone's aware.
That's x.com/ is it CoinGuideWW?
It is CoinGuideWW.
And of course, our Instagram is the Rise Up Morning Show, and you can follow it there. But here's Will's Twitter. Bearded had a really good follow-up question. What is your out on the BTC short?
It is, let's see, I set a limit sell order at 66.5. I put out a Bitcoin update here, and actually this will be you guys good if I go into a quick little like GA lesson?
Yeah, I'd like to transition there because people definitely want to know what you're thinking about it.
Yeah, so this is what I talked about on my update video this morning. Can you guys just get a quick little share on the tiki-taki? Also, Rude Boy, I'm so glad your confidence is growing, man. Congrats on your winning short. Just remember, don't let the confidence go to your head, because as I learned yesterday, that leverage sword, it's a double-edged sword. So Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame here, and let me just clean this up a little bit.
1 hour chart, man.
Yeah, because we're going to start in the 1 hour, go to the daily, and go to the weekly.
Love it.
So Bitcoin has been bouncing within this expanding descending wedge, and it broke to the downside, came up and held it as resistance, and now we're getting that rejection here. So you should expect Bitcoin to, as soon as it breaks this little wick right here, to go even lower than where it is right now. That's what the market's screaming to us right now. The breakout target of this descending wedge, you measure it at the thickest point, put it on the breakout target, or put on the breakout, and you get this target right here, which is, basically $65,000. So for me, for my Bitcoin short, I have it set just a little bit higher up at like 66.5, like right here. But this is our target. This little pink line right here, that's our target.
Got it.
Now, that's what's happening on the 1 hour. But as I've been going over a lot, and as I'm sure everyone's maybe tired of hearing, Bitcoin is in a much bigger bear flag pattern where you have, the pole here and you have, this flag, right? So the breakout target of the bear flag you get by measuring the pole, which is here. Take that. Oh, hang on a second. Take that. You put it on the breakout zone. And that also gives us a target of about $63,000. And depending on how you measure it, it could be 60,000. That is also right where the breakout target of this expanding descending wedge is. So we see a lot of reasons for bearish pressure in the market for Bitcoin, at least in the short term, to start petering out at around $63,000 for Bitcoin. But this line here on the bottom is also very important. And if we go to the weekly chart, that is support from 2022, 2023, and into, we have 2022 into 2023. In fact, this line actually isn't perfect. Let's do a little bit of this. That's close enough. And so that line of weekly support is also lined up with a 200-week simple moving average at $58,000. So if we were to fall like a rock right now, you might see, Bitcoin hit that $63,000 that we were just talking about from our descending expanding wedge, from our bear flag. But because we're in a highly leveraged market, things tend to overextend. And if it does overextend, you hit the 200-week simple moving average and also that 2023 line of support down at $57,000.
Wow.
Okay, I'll stop sharing. So you start to have bullish momentum petering out at $63,000 to $60,000 because those are the targets of our bearish patterns. But if this over-leveraged market overextends things, if we hit like 57K, that should really start to be like a pretty good hard stop, at least in the short term for Bitcoin, to start to see a rally. Is that rally the return of the bull market? I don't know. But it should be a short-term stop of what has been a mass capitulation.
Will, what signs are you going to take as credible that we're reversing or like you're going to cancel your short position? That I see what you're looking for, what your target is, but what would make you think the opposite thing is happening?
I mean, it would be, hey, and we're just about here actually, is I want to be oversold on the daily chart and the weekly chart stochastic RSI. And we're basically there. It's just not entirely oversold. And I want to see one really bullish candle form on the daily and weekly time frame. And that to me would be like, okay, cool. It could be a hammer candle that's, one long wick and then it has like a thick head of a hammer right here. There are a number of other bullish formations as well. It could be a double bottom, could be something, right? But give me oversold, long-term, stochastic RSI, one really, really bullish candle. And that would tell me we have a short-term rally.
Yeah. Can we talk a little about, and I'd like Alex's thoughts on this too. Feel free to, if you wanted to take it to a different sort of direction, let me know. But I think a lot of the comments want us to elaborate on, in a scenario like this, when the market is going down over a couple of weeks into like local lows, hasn't been this low in a minute. The question is always, are we in a bear market? How long will this last? But specifically, people want to know, since we are convicted in Bitcoin, we are convicted in, Alex over here is probably buying TurboSol like a maniac. How do you respond to what is happening and take advantage of the discounts, and also temper the reality that prices could go lower? How do you know when to go all in, so to speak? Do you ever go all in if you have money on the side, or do you always leave some money on the side in case you go lower? Do you always leave some in case we go higher? Can you guys talk a little about how you make those kind of decisions, how much you buy and when?
Yeah, so from experience, I've gone all in with a lot of money, more than I will like to say, before. And I've gone all in when my portfolio was smaller and bigger and all that kind of stuff.
And now that he's on Drift Protocol, he's looking for new ways to extend that.
I'm looking for new ways to lose it all. And so what I'll say is I've had some wins that, like, oh man, they just like make me want to go all in all the time, which is dangerous. And I've had some losses though. Like yesterday was a perfect example where, like, I was right. The market was shorting, but crypto does its own thing. Markets do their own thing. And no matter how good you feel about something, one mistake and it can all go away. So I've made a bunch of money. I've lost a lot of money. And so I know that even if I feel ultra confident in something, I should never go all in with all of my money into one position, because you could have an October 10th situation. You could have a situation that happened to me yesterday where, like, you know it's going to go in one direction, but it does the opposite. And then, it just happened to do what you thought was going to happen tomorrow, So never go all in. Set a limit for, how much you're willing to trade and what you want to kind of have set on the side. I think a good split is, I think if you like really have a feeling of going all in, like you really have that feeling, 60-40, like 40% should be your all in, right? Where you're like, I'm ultra confident. And then like 60% in, whatever, stable coins, or it's like set on the side, or it's not money you're playing with right now. Maybe it's a trade you set later. I think that's a good limiting factor. And that will give you plenty of opportunity to make a lot of money, but at the same time, manage your risk.
Yeah. Relative to what you have, manage your risk. This is not about dollar amounts. This is more about what you have to bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, anything to add to that right now?
I mean, I agree. I wouldn't go all in. I am buying stuff as it goes down. I'm still going, like, I'm not buying like a maniac by any stretch, because we're still above my averages. So I'm not trying to too aggressively bring my average buys up. And
talking about like Sol and Bitcoin and ETH here for people.
The only things I buy. Yes. Yeah. My ETH average. Well, actually here, wait, I don't even know what's ETH right now.
ETH is like $2,000, dude.
Okay. So we're getting there. Yeah. 2050. So we've got like 350-ish dollars until we would get to my average ETH price. And then Solana at, what is it, 88?
Yeah, it's 88.40 right now. It will be $50.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at 50, then I would turn up the heat, because then we're going to be floating around my average. If we hit 50, it would be a little bit below it. It's like 55 or something like that. So in that sense, yes. And the Solana average is interesting because I have it in different places, because I was aggressively buying Solana above 200, but I just didn't keep it for very long. Because looking for 10%, 15% swings and would be in and out, in and out, in and out. The TurboSol thing is interesting because, falling off a cliff, and I don't know. It's an interesting little experiment sitting right now at 2.68 leverage, X leverage rather. But the price of TurboSol has fallen from a high, recently, a recent high of 97 cents down to 15 cents.
Yeah.
So absolutely turning up the heat on that one, because one sol just gets you so much more at this point. So that is a pretty exponential increase, but same kind of thing. It's like a very measured purchase going in, because now I'm this is a new one for me. I don't have my average is significantly higher. Was buying I sold at 98.26 cents, and then I bought again at 66, 49, 28, now 15. So just kind of stepping back in as it goes down.
Can I give you a same compliment when you're done with Carrot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Bitcoin too. Bitcoin, I've got a ways to go. Average is 57. So, if we go then under 57, then I would increase that amount, because then I have the opportunity to lower the average price even more. So that would change then the way that I'm buying that. But just looking at what Chelsea's saying in the comments here, just about, the longer term pattern and how big it is. Chelsea, don't let me put words in your mouth here. I'm paraphrasing. But you could be theoretically looking at Bitcoin going all the way down into the 20s. I think, interestingly, we've lost. You think
so?
In theory.
Anything could happen. Yeah.
So here's the way that I would look at it. And yeah, I've been extra bearish for in the short term for a year, because I don't see a single reason for anything to be good right now. There's just simply no reason for it. The legislation is bad. The government involvement is bad. Institutional involvement is bad. Michael Saylor has way too much of it. At some point, something's got to happen to that guy, which would be bad.
That would be the catalyst.
Short term.
I don't know if somebody sniped him. I hope they don't, because I don't want him to die. But that's a good thing for Bitcoin holders everywhere.
No. What I'm saying is that it would be good long term, but it would take a while to realize that, because they have way too much of it. And I don't know why anyone is excited to see more MicroStrategy buys or strategy, whatever. So I don't know. So I'm just thinking about it that way. The last bear market bottom was, we were just pointing out, was all the way down in the 16s. And right now everything is bad. Everything's been bad for a while, and it's probably going to continue to get worse, because it's crime season and there's no accountability for anything. And what is standing in anything's way of not getting worse? But at the same time, we lost the presidential election support. That was a rule as old as Bitcoin, which, granted, not very old. So we keep saying, this is a young asset overall, and we are at the point now where we are introducing new data to the data set, which will be considered historically moving forward. So that's changed. So I don't know. I don't see any reason. Chelsea was saying too, in order for her to see a reversal that would mean anything, you have to close monthly over well into the 90s. Well, I don't know what your long-term picture is, if you really were to zoom out and stop looking at things in the short term kind of thing. But can you guys imagine what it would take right now to turn around from where we are and go back into the 90s? How obscene that would feel, and how long it would take.
I think if it was a short-term move, it wouldn't. I don't know.
That would be terrifying. I'd sell everything.
I absolutely. Are you kidding? I would consider selling. I have bought too much on the dip, thinking it would be a fake out. and not sizing appropriately for how low I have thought we could go, especially over a longer time frame. But I also think I was underexposed to a lot of crypto assets because on the last way up, I didn't have as much liquid capital to buy with. I have more stable coins now. I'm in a good position. That's why I ask you about this, is because the temptation is to deploy them too quickly because you're not used to seeing prices this low.
Yeah, that's why for me it's been really nice to have a daily buy of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, even though it's small, just because it like scratches that itch and I don't feel a need to like have to deploy all of my dry powder. So like it even though like those average buys are way higher up now because everything's been falling, like it's nice because I feel like it has saved me money because I don't really feel any emotional pull to be like, ooh, I may have to buy this one with my stable coins, you know? So that is nice. And actually, I had a rule that as soon as Bitcoin fell below $70,000, I was going to increase my buy of at least Bitcoin by 50% daily. And we're at 69. Oh my God, we're almost at 69,420 right now. 69,474, 69,453, 69,430, 69,429. Come on, baby. Oh, come on, I went back up again. Oh, we're almost at 69,420 live on air.
Take a screenshot, baby, live on air.
69,400. Oh, it's below it, but it was for a second 69.
For the briefest
somewhere
moment.
For the briefest second, it was $69,420,000.
Woo! For the vibes.
What a time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. What a time to be alive. Someone got that buy. Someone got that buy. Someone's
I really hope so.
There's so the question's about, you know, where can you see it going? My answer is based on absolutely nothing except like a vibe. I don't read charts on it. That's not me. No one asks me about that. But like Ethereum, if I think about like major psychological barriers in the price of ETH, I think about ETH below 1,000 again.
Wow. If Bitcoin went to 20, of course.
No, certainly. I mean, and I think Bitcoin to 20 that would be
too much.
I think that's too much. That would be really interesting.
Michael Saylor and Strategy would have to be selling Bitcoin.
Yeah,
they would. Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know exactly what the price of it would have to get to before they would say, just because, you know.
Yeah, that's their whole thing.
Well, they're below their average right now.
They are, yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. It's just it's an interesting one because I think that, like, you know, like we keep saying, the times they are unprecedented. So
right.
You know, how bleak does the short term look? You know, we're in a year where like people are genuinely concerned about how the entirety of like midterms are even going to go, which, you know, on the tail end of a government that hasn't really helped anyone with anything, there's going to be a lot of speculation about how that's going to go. I mean, you know, even if you're exclusively looking at it through a lens of like, what's this going to do for the markets? You know, like I said, right now, there's just no reason for anything to turn around. So I would just say lower, 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 lower.
My worst case scenario for Bitcoin, looking at my chart, is, and this is wild, is $28,000. That's my worst case scenario, but I think MicroStrategy has to be selling Bitcoin for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the journey to get there is the whole thing. If MicroStrategy, if something happened and Michael Saylor got hacked and, you know, their Bitcoin went under overnight and we went there immediately, that would make me feel different. And I would probably personally feel more destabilized than if we just went down there. One of the comments said, you guys don't seem worried. We're not worried. And I really want to extrapolate the lessons here for you. Will said it, I think, about DCAing. Like, if you have conviction in a cryptocurrency asset, in a gold, in a stock, in anything, then I think it can be, to some extent, unhelpful to worry about your average buy price. If the goal is to turn your dollars into more dollars and you're trying to predict the future in terms of what is a likely place to put my dollars to make them grow and make them grow more than my bank or make them grow more than this or that stock market, whatever, then you've got to develop conviction around what seems likely. And it can be tempting. Everything is psychological. It can be tempting when the price goes up to think it'll go higher, so I'm not selling here. It can be tempting to think I will wait for what I think is the bottom. And you all of a sudden are in all these places that are pitfalls. They're traps. You don't want to be thinking is this the bottom? Is now a good time to buy? You want to be thinking, Bitcoin is a good asset to have if the world stays as it is. Therefore, I should make a plan to accumulate more and to make it easy for myself to do so. Will's turning this money I could have bought coffee with into Bitcoin every day scratches the itch, like he says, but it also makes sure, especially if it's automated, that he doesn't have to be right twice. He's right once. He picks the right asset, and then he's accumulating it. Doesn't matter if the price is high, doesn't matter if the price is low. 50 years from now, when he looks back on it, he's not going to say, I wish I had held on to those $50 and bought everything on the day it was $69,420. Maybe he will, because he's that kind of a guy for the vibes. But everybody who's waiting to try and time the market, most of them are going to lose money because you are just increasing your surface area for being wrong. If you're just accumulating a good asset, you only have to be right once. Doesn't matter so much the price you buy it at.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Will.
No, and as I think, so like my daily buy is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Sol. So I feel really good about all those because like I have long-term conviction in them.
Yeah.
For Bitcoin, I well and truly believe that it is a better gold, and one day it will prove itself to be that. And you know, I have like a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year kind of view on Bitcoin. So I take this as like a nice opportunity to just strengthen my retirement fund. And I am only 33 years old. I have a while to go before I retire. So I have a long time horizon here. For Ethereum and Sol, even though I would expect worse things to happen to them as Bitcoin goes down, the entire stock market is moving on these two. The entire future of money, which is stable coins from payment processing, is being built on these two things. You know, like the traditional financial world is building on these two things. So I just go, yeah, I want exposure to that.
Yep.
And that to me is the answer. And I go, cool. And I walk away and I feel really good about my daily buy because those opportunities are massive long term.
I need to start doing a daily buy of Sol and of ETH because I found myself, to go back to Alex's turbo position, I opened a position, an experimental one. I put $20 in TurboSol just to see what it was like. I'm a teacher, wanted to learn it. But then when it dipped to 50 cents, that was the first time I bought it. And somebody asked, maybe one of you guys will assist me with like a screen share. I am going to share my screen and walk somebody through. We had a lot of people say, what is TurboSol? And man, this show is not sponsored by DeFi Carrot, but I have got to tell you, it should be. James already knows. We've had him on the show. This is a protocol that is extending what it is possible to do with your Sol tokens by putting them to work, and not just Solana, but tokens on the Solana network. DeFi Carrot is a website whose products are tokens that represent underlying strategies. In this case, we are at their Turbo menu. Turbo tokens represent a leveraged position on assets like gold or Bitcoin, Zcash, Solana. You can buy this token by trading your Solana tokens or your USDC tokens for TurboSol. And what you get is a token that represents a basket of Solana assets with, right now, 2.69 leverage applied. When you go into the TurboSol menu, it looks like any swap menu you've ever seen. You're prompted to connect your wallet. It will show you the price performance over time. And actually, they have a really cool user interface. For whatever reason, mine's not showing up, but it will show you a little green dot for every time you've bought TurboSol and a little red dot for every time you've sold, so you can kind of visualize how your asset has performed. And it shows you dynamically in real time the price change and the leverage change. And the max leverage that they will ever have is 4, meaning you have borrowed money to amplify your gains times 4. The cool thing about this token is that because somebody is dynamically managing it on the back end, and because the leverage is low, you don't have to be the person who is assessing the health of this position, adding more collateral to keep from getting liquidated. And if this is jargon to you because you're not a leverage trader, I also want to go over to Drift Protocol in a second. Bearded had asked about what you're doing, Will. I will show you the alternative, like the old school manual do-it-yourself way of opening a leverage position and keeping yourself from losing money. But all you need to know is that this has simplified the process. I swap my Solar USDC for TurboSol, and if Sol goes up $1, this will go up $2.69 because it's using leverage. Similarly, if the price falls, it falls more dramatically. Alex, as a TurboSol user, anything to add, or Will, as a TurboSol soon-to-be user, anything to add about this or other types of tokens like this?
What I'll add is, since I'm a new leverage trader, right, I will say, having used Drift protocol, it's just nice to like really simplify it, because like I'm newer, right? I haven't really done leverage trading at all before, so I don't really have the experience of like managing a position. And like on paper, it's like, oh, okay, like, you know, if I want to keep my position open, I just add liquidity to it, and that's fine. But it's honestly a really annoying step where I'm just like, I just want to set my trade and I want it to like do the thing, and I don't want to have to like do anything else personally. And so the fact that you can go to TurboSol and just kind of have it be like managed for you, essentially, you just set the trade you want and it just goes, like, it's just way better. Unfortunately, on TurboSol, you can't short.
That's
yet.
right.
Yet.
We're James.
Alex is talking to James about doing that. But, you know, it's just like a nice and simple strategy that I think would help to even out the emotions of leverage trading a bit, which I think will put you in a better position to make money. So if you're new and you're really just like a spot trader, I think you should really go to TurboSol first, to be honest. Or not TurboSol, but go to DeFi Carrot and explore their turbo products.
Now, let me show you the alternative, because the questions are, how do I learn to leverage trade? Well, the first thing is you need to understand a trading interface. And before you can even start using crypto to trade, I really recommend that you first learn how to buy, how to sell, how to swap cryptocurrency tokens, how to custody them yourself, how to use both exchanges where you can buy on a platform like Coinbase and move some assets around, and also on a wallet where you are the custodian of the private key that protects those assets yourself. I recommend you learn how to secure those assets. I recommend you learn how to turn your cryptocurrency back into cash. And I recommend that while you are learning that, you don't buy tokens that people tell you about on social media, because unless and until you understand why you might buy something and are moved to buy it for reasons of your own, you will always be outsourcing your conviction to someone else. You'll always be waiting for them to tell you not only what to buy, but also what to sell. And most people on social media are folks who got lucky once or twice or 3 times, and they're telling you what tokens to buy because look at my money, I made it. That's like taking directions from somebody who wound up in a place after they walked out of their house. You don't want to follow that guy on vibes. You want to follow the guy who has a map, a repeatable process, and you want to focus on the skills that you will need to use any platform well. So before you worry about trading anything, you need to focus on those skills. I'm going to show you the alternative to something like Carrot on Drift. Alex, did you have something? I'm sorry, please.
Yeah, one clarification. There's a question about going into debt while doing this. So that's the wrong way to think about it, unless of course what you're doing is like borrowing money to start leverage trading. This is financial advice. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But if what you're talking about is the methodology in which leverage trading works, then no. Instead, it's not that they would like, so if you put in $1,000 and that's what you wanted to leverage trade with, you cannot lose more than that.
That's correct.
But you can lose that way faster than you would if you bought the asset at spot. So, you know, like Will's example, if you're using 10x leverage and you buy with $1,000, you will lose that 1,000 10 times faster if the price of the asset goes the opposite direction from where you're making the bet that it will. That's the gamble. So it's not going to like take extra money from you if it goes down, but it will take what you put in, 10 times faster.
So I want to show Drift on the screen so I can explain that with a visual. So help me out with another quick screen share. We are going to drift.trade. If you're in podcast land, you can find this episode, of course, on YouTube, wherever you are, whenever you listen. And we can put a link to all this stuff in the community. The community is community.rumshq.com. If you're wondering what's the best platform to trade on, what's the best exchange to buy crypto on, what's the cheapest, the truth is there's no one size fits all answer. And depending on where you live or what you find easy to use, the answer will be different for you. So you need to be in a room of other crypto users so you can get multiple perspectives from people who aren't going to try and sell you some junky token. Okay. Once you get to drift.trade, you can learn about their different products. For example, they've got trade, earning, vaults. You can stake the Drift token. But we're going to go to the top right and click Launch App. That will take you to a new tab that prompts you to connect your wallet. I've got my social wallet connected here. And a little terms of use. This is an interesting sort of protocol in the sense that it is limited based on where you live. Just like other DeFi plays we've seen, they have to comply with certain laws, which means if your country doesn't support legally a tool like this, you may not be able to access this without something like a VPN to make it look like your internet is coming from somewhere else. You live in the US and you can't access it. You got to make them think you're coming from Germany. That is risky because if they detect you're doing it, you might be deplatformed, lose access to their trading interface, your assets. Not something I would recommend doing your first time out with more money than you can afford to lose. So the first thing they're going to prompt you to do is to deposit some money. Okay. I'm going to say, I don't have a lot of SOL in this wallet. So I'm going to deposit 0.07 SOL. And that is going to be my balance that I can use to borrow money for leverage trading. Okay. This is $6.90. I'm going to deposit it. It's prompting me to sign a transaction in my wallet. I'm going to do that. So already you can see if you're new to crypto or you're here, you want to make money in crypto. I've had to connect to a protocol, maybe use a VPN. I have to have a crypto wallet. It has to be funded with Solana tokens, and I have to know how to connect it to a website and safely sign transactions. Those are the things I've had to do already just to get to a place where I can buy or sell things. And look at this interface. For the people in podcast land, if you've never seen a terminal like this before, it's about the most intimidating thing in finance, I think. There's a chart with candlesticks on it, red and green, numbers going up and down all the time. There's a widget over here that will allow me to create a position, but you might not know that if you've never seen it before. It says cross, 20x, long, short. But let's talk through it. The first thing you would do on a market like a website like this is you would choose the market you want to trade. In this case, and in many cases, this is like a top left feature. You can toggle this menu to see the different markets that are available for you to trade. And all this means, it says BTC perp, SOL perp, ETH perp. On this website, they are telling you the asset, and perp here just means you can leverage trade it. You can borrow money to trade this asset with leverage up to, on the screen, you'll see they have 101x, 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 up to 101 times the money you put up is available to borrow to amplify the gains and also tighten the window of flexibility on your position before they take your money. We'll explain that in just a second because I'll get a visual. But just since we have SOL on their platform, we're going to stay with SOL perp. Oh, hang on. It's going to... Oh,
are you about to open a demonstrative 101x leverage position on SOL?
Yes, but I've got to refresh my browser. Yeah, let's do it.
What could go wrong?
So you've deposited money, you've chosen your market, and now you need to determine, you probably came here because you have a suspicion already about Solana. Some people who are trading leverage are trading very short term. I would say most of them are. The higher your leverage is, usually the shorter term your trade is. And that's because crypto assets move a lot. Just in the last, what is this? I'm looking at the daily chart, the daily, hourly. I'm looking at hourly candles here, like 4 hour, 1 hour
Don't think about it too hard, but on January 15th, Solana was over $140.
Yeah, so we've lost almost 50% of the value. And if you're just holding a cryptocurrency asset, that doesn't have to make you nervous. But every time you take out a leverage position, for simplicity's sake, you can get liquidated the faster price moves against you. And the more money you're borrowing, the less room you have for it to go the other way. So if you are going... Oh, go ahead.
Just one thing just to keep in mind is that, you know, as we're constantly talking about like the liquidation heat map and all, you know, all these different kinds of things that you can look at to try to, you know, inform your guesses about price, there is evidence to suggest that some of these platforms, not saying Drift specifically, but like, you know, this has come out about MEXC, for example, that, you know, as you're doing this, the platform that you're using is aware that wallet this and wallet that is opening a long or a short position on this asset in this direction with this, you know, liquidation price. That's pretty juicy information to know. So, there are other things that inform the risk on this. You're not just, it's not simply taking a straight bet and knowing that it's going to go that way. These platforms have been known to trade against people too, based on what they're doing on their own platform. So, hyper risky.
So now that we're here, let's say we have conviction that we're going to trade. We're going to try and be in the trade for the next day. We think Solana is going to continue to go down. And as you can see here, it's also gone up, even though it's gone down on the whole. There have also been moments where it's bumped up like 0.5% or up maybe 5% or 2% or something like that. And so we're going to try and use smaller leverage. I just want to see if I take out a
99x is the lowest.
Well, maybe I can do this. I just want people to see. Sorry for the screen. I'm so sorry. Look at this. This is great. Okay. Now, short it. Drift uses something. I will short it. Drift uses something called cross margin. Margin is the amount of money that protects you from losing your money. Like Alex said, if you put up $1,000 on this site, that's your collateral. It may also be called your margin. Cross margin means that every position you have on this website, every asset you have on this platform can be used to sort of buffer or shore you up, but it's also all at risk. Isolated margin means it's position by position. If I open a position on Sol and I've got $10 in that position as collateral, then that's all they can take. If I'm using cross margin and I've got a Sol bet and a Bitcoin bet and an ETH bet, and across my portfolio I've deposited, I don't know, $10,000 on this platform, then that's what they're going to liquidate if they need to liquidate me. So using cross margin is inherently more risky. Some people say, I'm going to open an account with $10,000, but I'm only going to take out a $100 trade. Well, then the trade starts moving against them and they need to put up more money so that they don't get liquidated. It's a very quick cascading risky game. So I'm going to confirm, I know we're using cross margins, so they're going to be able to liquidate my whole account, this whole $5, if this bet moves against me. I'm going to amplify it. Let's turn it up to 101 leverage, baby.
Yeah.
High leverage increases
your... right now. Please set it right now. Please set it right now, Evan.
That's it. Confirmed.
101x. Wait, doesn't it just go away?
It defaults to 100 when you click here, but then, oh no, maybe not. I just didn't drag the slider enough.
There it is.
I wish they had a better visualization. Do you know if they have a visualization of this, Will? Like some
Evan,
sites that do
trade right now.
Right now, okay, great. Because we're going lower.
This man is about to have a heart attack. And
okay, sorry.
I'm messaging you in the private. I'm like, set it.
I'm going short. 101x.
100.
Okay,
size. Well, maybe not 101x, but whatever. It's $5. It's for the laughs.
It's too late.
How much Sol do I have? I don't know. Reduce what? Where?
You can't always do 100%.
Well.
Oh, did you not fund the account?
I thought I did. I have $5 available. Look at this.
Okay.
So
set it to 50. Set it to 50 and see if that works.
Not to 50. I might not have enough in my account to take out that much money. Maybe they're not going to let me. 0.12 Sol. It's tough because I have $5. How much is 0.12 Sol? That's more than $5. That's like $8. So I have to reduce my leverage. Let me do 18x. How about that?
Had $5, not anymore.
Okay. Margin required. Why isn't it gonna let me do this? Oh. Maybe I do. I thought I did deposit money.
Are you still geofenced at all?
I'm using drift from restricted territory.
And then deposit, or did you just connect your wallet?
No, I connected and deposited. As you can see, I have $5.52 available to do whatever I want with. Man, look at those candles just passing us by.
I know, that's why I'm like, no. But
why is it not gonna let me so?
You might recover a tiny bit here.
Let's see. Yeah, that's interesting. So what they'll tell you here while we're doing this, I'll show you something else. They're going to tell you how much margin, meaning how much money you've got to put up to take out a bet at a given price at a given amount of leverage. When I increase this leverage, like if I go to 101, my position size is the same. I'm still buying a 0.12 Sol position. But now the margin required 10 cents of margin. If I reduce the leverage, check this out. Now I've got $5.31 of margin required to maintain an order value of, and all this means is that now if the price of Solana moves $5, they'll take my money. That seems better if it's a short-term trade than 101x leverage, where if the price moves just 10 cents, they're going to take my money. So amplifying the leverage, I wish they had a better visual, but that's the visual, is like as your leverage goes up, we went from having $5 of flexibility. I could stay in this position for maybe an hour. But if I've only got 10 cents of flexibility, I'm going to get liquidated and my money will be gone on the 1 cent candle. It's like a roulette table where you're betting on, with lower leverage, you're betting on red or black. You just have to be right 50% of the time, maybe. With higher leverage, you got to pick that 1 in 100 number. You got to time it well. And you also, here's another thing. You have to pay fees on this position. While it's open, depending on the activity on a platform, it changes whether the people who are taking out long bets have to pay fees or the people who are taking out short bets have to pay fees. That's another thing that you need to consider. And honestly, I actually don't know how to read this interface. Do you know how to read this, Will? Are the longs or shorts paying? You see this? Fees,
Yeah.
0.07% slash minus 0.002%. I would need to look at their legend. But unlike me, you would probably, I wonder if it's a VPN thing. I don't use Drift. I might have to connect a VPN or something like that before it will allow me to open this position.
I thought that you were in one already. Yes, you
I'm not
absolutely
VPN.
need one.
Oh yeah, you 1000% need the VPN, otherwise it won't work.
Yeah, okay. So see, great. I can't even do it. So all of these things are things you are going to have to understand. Alex, I'm going to stop the screen share and we can come back to it if we have questions, because I see there are a lot of good comments. But all of those are things, if you wanted to do a leverage position yourself, that's pretty much the interface you're going to have to deal with. And it's fine. You can learn it. No problem. But wouldn't it be better to just let a platform like DeFi Carrot take care of it for you? Sure, you don't get 100x leverage, but you get exposure to amplified earnings, minimized risk, lots lower risk of liquidation. I'm not going to get liquidated. I'm always going to have a token that I can trade for some sort of collateral. They could go under if they don't manage the position well, but I don't think it's very likely. Thoughts to add, especially Will? Now, are you actively, Will, trying to short this?
No, because I can't do anything on my computer here. I have to do it on my phone.
That's great.
Because this is my work laptop and nothing crypto touches this.
Dude, that would have been a great trade. Although we got a little green candle now, so I probably would have been liquidated.
But at 101x, you just get one little bit going your way and you just close that. you just
Beard, that as soon as Evan tries to short Sol, it has two big positive candles in 2 minutes.
That's why I was like, you were going through a nice description. I was like, Evan, I know this is for the video and it's for education, but I was like, short now, and now, no, especially with 101x leverage. But oh well, say levy, it's fun.
Dude, yeah, it's great. I'm sorry.
What would it take for the bull market to come back for us to go all in?
Sure.
To sell everything.
To sell everything, yeah.
Sell everything, it'll turn around.
Exactly. Okay, but that's what I wanted to come back to is I need to start DCAing Sol and ETH because I have been not in the habit psychologically of buying it regularly. I'm feeling because I missed a lot of opportunities in the last bear market to accumulate when I wanted to. And now I have more stable coins to deploy. And because I don't know if the best thing for me to do, because I don't know if this is temporary, though I think it will be sustained, downward motion or bearish, crabbish motion, it could have a up. The best thing for me to do would treat it like a discount day and acquire a little more of the assets I believe in, but also leave myself room to buy more if the price goes lower. I would rather not spend all my money in order to buy a dip that comes. And if it goes back up, I won't feel bad knowing I have some exposure. It's just like trying to time the top or bottom. If you are practicing Alex's swing trading strategy, and when it goes up 20%, you sell a little, then you're not going to feel bad if it goes way down like somebody else who didn't sell and is stuck holding a bag. The person who buys Solana thinking one day it'll be $500 a token and waits for it to be $500 before they sell misses a lot of opportunities to capture value by selling it at a higher price, buying it at a lower price. And you don't have to be a day trader to do that. You can automate it. You can DCA. You can just watch a show like this one and realize, oh, I've been DCAing since Solana was $50. Now it's $100. I could take some profits. That kind of thing. Where do you guys want to take it? I have been so inattentive to the comments. I don't know if people are getting this, if they think it's puzzling or worth pursuing further. But let me know if you have a question, if you have a suggestion. We can take it wherever folks want to go. Tips for a beginner looking into spot trading. We're not using leverage anymore. Maybe not using limit orders. What are your tips, guys? Somebody who wants to trade spot.
So I would say there's only three things a market can do. And this is going to sound reductive and silly, but bear with me. It can either go up, down, or it can kind of just linger and stay flat and sideways. So in order to spot trade, if what your goal is not to just accumulate and hold, but to actively trade, you just need a plan for all of those instances. So the way that I always set that up is that I take the asset that I'm interested in. My spot trade swing position is SOL. So that means that I have a wallet that is going to be the one custodying this position, and there is some SOL in it, and there is some USDC in it, and I'm trading back and forth in between those two things. As the price of SOL increases, I am looking to sell. Not all at once, but just bit by bit as price goes up. If it's going down, I'm buying bit by bit, not all at once. At no point will I ever not have at least something in either of those two sides. So no matter what the price of Solana goes up to, I will not sell 100% of the SOL that I hold. No matter what it crashes down to, I will never buy with 100% of the stablecoins that I hold in that position. That way, if I'm wrong about the next direction it's going to go, which is always possible, you have the ability to capitalize on whatever direction it goes. And so in that instance, that's how I keep in my head that, you know, you got to have exposure in both directions. I would only be doing that with an asset that I had long-term faith in, because if I miss, and, you know, let's say that I was buying more heavily and then I didn't pay attention for a couple weeks and all of a sudden it's, you know, down where it is now, I don't want to have this like obscenely stressful position where I'm sitting there holding, hoping, not sure if I believe in the asset anymore or whatever. So, you know, I don't like to spot trade with things that I don't have real conviction in, because at some point you might end up missing and sitting there holding this thing for longer than you would originally want to. And I have been there. That is very stressful and it's exhausting, and you're just sitting staring at these prices, refresh, hoping that it's going to turn around, and that's just not a way to live. You know, so be methodical. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Be objective and critical about the asset that you're going to choose to do this with. And, you know, don't go in all at once in any direction ever.
Beautiful. Spot trading tips, Will? My tip would be learn limit orders, and you know, I feel like spot is fine, but some of the market buys, advanced features, like trading jargon is intimidating, but limit orders are a hell of a thing. The ability to set and forget a trade can be, for somebody, a lifesaver. I don't take advantage of tools like that as often as I should.
Yeah. Other than setting limit orders, I mean, what I'd say is with spot trading, like, look at the weekly and monthly time frame and typically stay away from daily and hourly. Like, daily's fine, but, like, you know, if you're really doing spot trading, you know, you're looking for like longer term gains over probably like a medium term position, which is like, you know, several months or at least several weeks. And yeah, just like look at the weekly and monthly time frame, because it paints a way clearer picture and gets you away from the noise of like quick price movement. and you see a very clear picture of like, oh, it's bullish or oh, it's bearish, you know? So pay attention, spend way more time analyzing those longer term time frame charts if you're just going to do spot trading, which is what I largely do. So
we got a question here about DCAing and how we like to do it. Magic, good to see you always. And thanks for the tips. Sorry, I missed them in the comments. Magic is in the Rise Up community. He is a premium member. We love it. We love all the premium members. They're the very best part of what we do. And honestly, they're sharp people. Magic is somebody who you could ask in a conversation in the community. Hey man, what I got to do for drift? He was tipping me off like, oh, you got to use isolated margin. Don't forget your VPN, whatever. You know, I'm learning from these guys too. It's a circuitous thing. He says, DCA, do you use a SEX, centralized exchange? Do you use a DEX, decentralized exchange? Do you do it daily? Do you do it weekly? Do you do it every other day? What are your habits like for DCAing? And what platforms do you use?
Right now, I just do the DCA through Coinbase. It's the last thing I use Coinbase for, just because like that's where I set it up months ago. So it's just continuously running. But I am making a very slow transition away from Coinbase to Kraken. So I'll go do it there. But, you know, right now I'm just letting it run. And I do it daily. Personally, myself, I like the idea of buying a cup of coffee a day with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And that works for me. Yeah.
What are the fees like on Coinbase DCAs?
Well, I have Coinbase One subscription, so I honestly don't even know.
Got it. So you pay $300 a year to get like a $10,000 reduction or fee reduction on up to $10,000 of activity, I think is what it is.
For me, that's like, I mean, that's just a few trades.
I would say, and generally, the most important thing is, can you easily access the platform? Does it work well with your bank? Does it have the tools that you understand if you want to stop the order, if you want to adjust it? The name of the game with DCAing, dollar cost averaging, is setting it and forgetting it to make it as easy and frictionless as possible for you to accumulate these assets you believe in. If there's a chance you can screw it up, you probably will. At least that's my rule. So I use River to buy my Bitcoin, and that's the only thing I DCA right now. But I would like to start a DCA of ETH and SOL for all the reasons that these guys have already said. Honestly, I should have done it a long time ago. It's the best investing decision I ever made, was to automate my dollar cost averaging of Bitcoin. I buy it daily, and I have an order set so that River has a very cool feature. River.com is a specialized broker. They are an exchange like Coinbase that's FDIC insured and is regulated and legal and in the business of selling you Bitcoin and securing your assets while they're on their platform, but make it easy for you to withdraw it if you want. They have a superior product. Their fees are minimal. Their spreads are almost non-existent. And you can get an automated buy with zero fees. The goal is to, as Adam Lowe said from Arculus, increase the frequency with which you buy so you can get exposure to the entire price curve. Over time, it is proven that people who buy more frequently are less affected by volatility. They're more profitable. So I buy every day. They have a feature that lets me set a rule to, if it's down in price from the day before or from my last buy, do you want to buy extra? And I have it set to yes, buy 2 times more on days when it's down compared to the previous day. And then every month or 6 weeks or whatever, I go into River and take the Bitcoin I've accumulated from my buys and send it to my cold storage wallet, my long-term hold wallet. They automatically draft the money from my bank. It earns 3% in Bitcoin while it's on their platform. It's painless. I said it, I forget it. And I would probably look into Coinbase because it works well with my bank. I've never had a problem there. It's my preferred exchange to buy Bitcoin, or excuse me, to buy ETH and SOL. And I would do the same kind of thing. I would set it and forget it. And I don't worry too much about the fees. I worry more, is it easy? Is it automatic? And over time, SOL and ETH will grow, I believe. And that'll, balance out any fees I pay. What are you using, Alex?
Well, so Kraken's Plus subscription is $5 a month. And that's the same up to $10,000 of, trades per month for free. And then they give you, right now they're giving an increased rate on USDG their stable coin. And
the Glow dollar.
It's 4%. So, it's decent. It's a really good high yield savings account there. But I mean, all of my DCAs in general are on decentralized exchanges. I just use Jupiter for everything. Because the only things, is Jupiter or Arrow, or Uniswap. But most of the most common DCA that I do is Sol, and so it's just on Jupiter. Super cheap. I mean, dirt cheap. The difference between swapping $1,000 on inside of Solflare or Phantom as a wallet with that fee there is like almost $10, like $9 and change. Jupiter, it's like a couple cents. So it's not even a question.
So you just load up your wallet with USDC on Solana, and then it just goes.
Yeah, I have a measured, the thing that I would DCA into on the exchange is USDC, and then send that out to the hot wallets that are doing stuff, because there's a position that's just buying CRT, which, by the way, still up only. And so that's the DeFi Carrot yield position for USDC. So some of it goes there, and then the rest of it goes to the Solana swing trading position, where then I measure into Sol, especially now that it's dropping. And if we get below my average, we get below 57, then I'll turn it up.
I think what I'll do actually is take the crypto that I have on Coinbase myself, cancel my Coinbase One subscription, because I should do that anyway, move everything over to Kraken that's there, and then reestablish my DCA on Kraken. Because I'm making a slow transition. I might as well just transition, especially now because Bitcoin's at the point where I was going to increase my DCA anyway, so I might as well just start doing that on Kraken.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done any videos on your experience at Kraken? Bearded wanted to know.
No, not yet.
I think that would be helpful to see, and I want to shout out Cvish, aka Cody, who's also in the community, super helpful. He has been doing a really good job of testing and comparing Kraken and Coinbase along a lot of different features. He's a Coinbase user, wanted to branch out, and has been reporting back and writing updates to a post in the public forum in the community about different things he's observing, fees, tokens they offer, whatever, the friction of the experience. And I've got to say, I feel like most people who progress in the crypto space tend to prefer the Kraken experience. The fees tend to be lower. They tend to have more, level 1 and 2 tools. Coinbase is probably the easiest entry point for my dollar. Maybe Binance is competitive with them, but we don't have it in the US.
I will say I've had such a positive experience with Kraken support that even before I did anything on Kraken, and I haven't really done much there, I immediately subscribed to their subscription, because I was like, you guys are awesome. You deserve money. Here, I will subscribe before I even use anything. Because Bruce on customer support at Kraken, who most of the time manages their Twitter, is just an absolute angel of a person, and I really appreciate him. So Kraken gets money.
Wait. You're telling me they trust a guy who responds to customer support requests with their Twitter handle? I wonder if it's the other way around. Like if he's got social media, he's on the team, and he occasionally logs in to do customer service, because that seems wild to me. I'm picturing an employee in a call center who makes an hourly wage, like with the tweet credentials. And Bruce doesn't seem like that kind of guy. He just sounds so sharp. Not that hourly employees aren't sharp.
All I'm saying is I was tweeting back and forth with Kraken support, and he was like, hey, man, let's just talk in DMs and I'll help you out. And we started doing that. He helped me out. He told me his name's Bruce. He's a great guy. He's like, yeah, man, I just want to help people, man. And I was like, I love you, Bruce.
Bruce, we love you. After we get Kraken on the show, I think we're probably going to have Mark on the show first. He is an executive in consumer product. But then I really want Bruce on the show. And I would really like him to join with a customer service headset on while he's like doing his work. Alex,
love that.
Question for you. And I'd like to talk about permissions here. When you're doing this DEX DCAing, do you have the option to do automatic trades? Meaning, do you sign permissions that give it the ability to transact in the future for you? Or do you have it like on a per transaction basis? Because for people in the audience, some exchanges will say, like Drift did to me, it will say, do you want to approve automatic trading? Meaning you don't have to sign every time. You can approve a spending limit and we can just go into your wallet and take it. What do you do?
I do it manually because I'm paranoid.
Talk about the paranoia and talk about the risk of permissions and granting too much access. Why you wouldn't want to do that? Why it might be concerning to set up an automatic keep withdrawing money from my wallet to fund my DCA.
I think that it's worth saying that I am not using those features because of like observed risk or problems or watched exploits or anything. I just don't have a reason to not do it manually, and it's safer to do it that way. So just because I know that I'm here all the time and I'm constantly paying attention, and because of honestly doing the show, I'm never going to like accidentally not see the price every day. That it just becomes easier. But you know, effectively what you're doing is granting a contract permission to do a thing. And that contract is going to continue to do that thing, even if something changes for you personally. It doesn't know that. So, you know, if I set up a measured continued purchase and then I am not able to like get online for whatever reason, I would personally rather not do it than have it continue to go without me having the ability to like stop and review every single one. I don't know. I don't like to set it and forget it with like full wallets. I could do that too. I've done that on like the centralized exchanges before, you know, with a pre-funded thing, you know, like doing a small Bitcoin buy every week or something like that. But doing the spot trading in and out of something on a decentralized exchange, I would just rather have full control over it.
Bearded asks, Will, do you have an affiliate code for Kraken? And I'm going to say, while Will gets it, if he's got one, to Bearded specifically, I would invite you to go ask Cody in the community, because he really has done a good job of reporting back to us. And, you know, not that I don't want you to support Will, but Bearded, since you know him, go find CVish and get his affiliate code. It'll probably be faster. And then Will, if you've got one, we can post it on the site. I would love to have an affiliate code contest where we compete. Support Alex, support Evan, support Will. Who wins this month? The loser has to sell all their Bitcoin. I don't know.
What? What? No, I don't know if I have an affiliate link or not. I don't think I do. I mean, does everyone have one if you set up an account on Kraken?
You probably can get one. But for now, and you know, as long as you listen to this episode, come to the Rise Up community, ask for CVish, and say, yo, heard you've been helpful. Give me your affiliate link so we can help him buy more Bitcoin. I would like to do that for that brother. That would be cool. And we're going to try and find more ways to work with Kraken. They just have such great products.
They have such good products.
It's about that.
Cool.
It's about that time, guys. I know, Will, you got to get going and we got to start an after show. So if you're listening live, then this is the time to drop your comments, questions, suggestions, predictions, good jokes, words of wisdom. The 8 Ball says, avoid FOMO. And then to sign up, if you haven't, or head on over, if you're not there yet, to community.rumshq.com. If you're a regular listener on the show and you don't have a profile there, you haven't introduced yourself, you're missing the most value that we can give you. If you're here because you want to know where we think Bitcoin is going and you haven't joined the community, you're like walking past free Bitcoin on the ground every single day. You don't join the community. It's the best place to keep learning with us. And we want to see you there. You guys have any final thoughts on the way out the door before we go over to Circle to start an after show?
I won't be able to be on the after show, but I will be on Market Watch tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be taking a look at the charts and going through some fun, you know, taking a look, seeing where things are heading, doing some altcoin suggestions, shooting the shit with Doug. So tune in tonight. I'll be there.
Love it. Alex, how about you, brother?
I would say, you know, don't let these times in the market as prices crash, or, you know, don't let that panic you. If you're starting to feel panicked, then the best move is to not do anything and you should walk away and take a break. It's a good opportunity to gut check. You know, if you are panicking and you're not buying, but you're panicking because you're holding stuff and you're really underwater and you're, you know, feeling really bad about it. It sucks. There's not a whole lot you can do in this particular instance about that, without doing a whole bunch of management and, you know, aggressive swing trading, trying to capitalize on little pops up and down and over again, whatever. It's possible, but it's tough and it takes a lot of time. You know, but if you're feeling that, then that is the ultimate sign that you did overinvest. You know, someone asked, like, how do you keep calm during all this? Because I have long-term faith and conviction in the assets that I'm holding, and opportunities like this are a time when I can get more of it for less than I normally do. And there they are. Yep. That's the sound of disrespect in my own house.
Oh my gosh. What a great thought to end on. Don't outsource your conviction. Don't buy tokens if you don't believe in them. Only buy stuff when you arrive at the realization it would be worth it to trade my dollars for this thing. Not because anybody tells me to, but because reasons I can articulate. Reasons that are personal, and reasons that are built on, hopefully, good, verifiable information. Alex, I kind of took it over because I didn't want you to feel like you got rugged.
Thanks.
So,
yeah, just
is that
listen.
the end? Are you well met? Give it to me.
Yeah, listen to your gut. If you're panicking right now, this is the time that you need to learn something from that panic, so that you don't make whatever mistake led you to panic again. You know, markets will turn around. Not every altcoin is going to come back. So this is why it's important to buy things with conviction, and not just to buy things that some person on the internet tells you are worth a lot, or are going to be worth a lot. I still see an unbelievable amount of that content with just, you know, baseless claims that token X, Y, and Z or whatever are just going to go up arbitrarily forever, and insane predictions. You can intake that and use it to go off and learn things, and then you need to be critical and objective about it. And if you do that, then times like this won't stress you out. They will. I don't know. Like I said, I'm excited because I have like 3 things. I have long-term faith in them, and we're getting down closer and closer to where my averages are, meaning that I might be able to lower cost basis on stuff overall. That's exciting, but not panicking. But I mean, my first go around, I absolutely did. Bought a shitload of a bunch of stuff I didn't really understand because people on the internet said it was good. And then it cratered, and I was like, oh God, I don't know anything about this. And I don't know if I think it's going to come back or whatever. And then you're panicking, and just terrible. Recipe for disaster.
Don't do it. What you should do is come back with questions, take your time, and then have a little fun along the way. I will see you all in the after show. And if you can't make it there, then we will see you on Market Watch. And if you can't make it there, listen, take your time. Find us wherever you are, whenever you listen. All the links are at rumshq.com, and the links in our bio on TikTok, on Facebook, on the Arena, on Twitter, wherever you are, you can find us there. Until next time, my friends, thank you for being the very best part of what we do. Stay safe, be well, everybody. Rise up.